If you have ever played competitive online games, you know that toxicity is rampant. People quit, purposefully lose the game, write unspeakable things in chat. But for people that care about winning and climbing through the ranks, it has actually become a viable build to be the team therapist. The real downfall of this strategy is that it sucks. Well, the new ranked season of League of Legends just started, and I wanted to see how far I could climb on ranked, so I needed all the help I could get, which is why I used ChatGPT API and Tesseract in Python to create my own AI therapist, where I was able to get some decent success as well while trying to climb through the most toxic rank in League of Legends. So to be able to use it in the middle of a game, I decided to create a macro. You can use this code in any application, but I will use it in League of Legends, and League actually doesn't let you paste text from outside. To work around this, I use the keyboard package in Python, which, as the name suggests, mimics your keyboard to do things like typing words, entering specific keys, etc. You can also write way longer text, such as the beginning of the B movies. To make this work in League, I added this extra enter button press, since that's what I would normally need to activate the chat box. And as you can see, it works in-game. The AI therapist needs to know what people are typing, so the next step is to add on the macro to screenshot the screen. Then process the text on the screenshot, but to speed up that process, I also automatically crop every image to exactly where the chat box is. To process the image into text, Google has this open source optical character recognition engine, where you just pass the location of the image and it tells you what it can read on the image. Not every text on that image is relevant to the AI therapist. I mostly just care about the player messages, which is why I had to do some text processing. Here you can see what does a large body of text look like at first and after the filtering. Now that we know what people are typing and we have means to copy and paste text, all I need to do is to set up the OpenAI API. For this project, I instructed it to find a toxic player within those messages and write a short message to help bring them back to the game. After the instructions, I pass the chat transcript and it returns what the ideal message is. To test this, I passed this fake chat transcript that I also got from ChatGPT, and it worked out pretty well. It decided that Starlight needed to hear this message, and that's actually pretty sweet and accurate. To test the full workflow, I placed this fake chat on the bottom left of my screen, exactly where the chat box would be in-game. And then I ran the macro. You can see that it saves the new screenshot, crops it, processes the text found on the image, sends the text to ChatGPT API, and grabs the message back and types it out in the blink of an eye. Here are some highlights testing the AI therapist in a game with my friends. In fact, one of the funniest part of the AI therapist was that if the message was too long, the client wouldn't let me type the whole thing out, so you would have "let's focus," but the rest of the word is invisible, so it sounds like "let's focus." First thing I wanted to improve was the tone of the message. It all appeared too formal and well written, both in terms of punctuation and language. I initially tried using the GPT-4 engine instead of GPT-3, which is more expensive, but I thought it would give me better results, but it just kept using emojis. Like literally, this thing is obsessed with emojis. Even when I clearly instructed you can't use any emojis, it was still doing it. So I gave up on that and instead found this other AI that specializes in turning formal text into casual text. Then I simply add the next step to the macro, where I first get the raw text back from AI, I pass it to the casual formatter and type what it gives me instead. It was working, but it wasn't really good. The worst part was that it usually just returned the same sentence with just the punctuation removed, which made me realize I can literally do the same thing myself with some simple string manipulation, no AI needed. And finally, I created a second agent where if I wanted to, I can choose to either address a toxic player or compliment a positive or high-performing player, which I realized is essential, as you will see in the next few highlights. In the first game, we had a really rough start to the game, and when I mean really rough, I meant we all kept dying again and again, and when I say we, I mean me. Our top laner Kennen was performing pretty good though, and every time someone was toxic, I would slap them with some AI positivity. I think at a certain point, I got to Kennen with my messages, and Kennen was actually starting to believe as well, even though we were very behind. From time to time, other players also lost faith and became toxic, but I kept my eyes on the target, glazed the hell out of Kennen. And wouldn't you know, we won a couple team fights, and we were actually able to win. In the next game, I was supporting Samira, who was toxic out of the gate, and also suspected pretty quick that I was illegally enhancing my abilities to win. We had a rough start in lane, but after a solid play, I was able to make her happy. The next thing you know, we're walking down the lane and she's still talking shit. We were getting our ass beat as a team, and even though others wanted to quit, I firmly said no. Here I am being Samira's therapist, and the next thing you know, she says she likes my macro, and this was a turning point. She started believing in the game. Oh, never mind, she's back to flaming others. Well, next time she was toxic, she even knew what I had to do to show her some of that AI therapist love. Couple minutes later, I made a game-changing play as Teemo support, and the Samira helped too, I guess. And afterwards, when we were going to Baron as a team, I boosted the therapy to the next level, literally drooling over her pretty regular in-game stats. Next thing you know, she cleans them out, we actually win the game, and she even mentioned that the support got gapped. Which is crazy because I didn't even ask her to say that. If you like this video, check out this playlist of my other Veki projects I did using Unity's AI package. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you next time.